I realize that some people believe that the Pesah, that is the Passover sacrifice and meal, was at the beginning of the 14th day. In other words, as the sun was setting on the 13th and turning over into the 14th, this is when some believe that the Pesah sacrifice occurred. They often emphasize specifically at twilight, understanding that a new day begins at sunset. However, they are wrong about the timing of the Pesah sacrifice. The command was to keep the lamb until the 14th day, and then to kill it between the evenings and to eat its flesh on that night. That is from the start of the 15th day until morning, roasted in fire with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. I'm not sure how this misunderstanding got started, but it still persists. I think that part of the problem lays in their understanding of the word evening. Evening can mean nighttime or sunset, but it can also be referring to the last portion of the day following the afternoon and before sunset. There is some nuance to it, and you have to pay close attention to the context clues to know which the text is referring to. For example, we know that the time of day referred to as between the evenings occurs before the part of the day called night. In the book of Shemot, chapter 12, verse 6, the children of Yasharal are commanded to kill the lamb between the evenings. And verse 8, they are commanded to eat the lamb that night, roasted in fire with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. And verse 12, we are told that Yahuwah would pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that same night and smite all the firstborn. And in verse 17, we are told to guard the festival of Matzah because it was on the same day that he brought out our divisions out of the land of Mitzrayim. Now, in the book of Devarim, Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verses 10 to 11, we can read the following. When there is any man among you who is not clean because of an emission in the night, then he shall go outside the camp. Let him not come into the midst of the camp. And it shall be when evening comes that he bathes with water. And when the sun sets, let him come into the midst of the camp. We can see clearly here that in verse 11, that evening comes before sunset or night. I will cover more examples in another video. Listen carefully as now I'm going to read through Shemot, Exodus chapter 12, verses 1 to 51. Shemot, Exodus chapter 12, verses 1 to 51. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe and to Aaron in the land of Mitzrayim, saying, This month is the beginning of months for you. It is the first month of the year for you. Speak to all the congregation of Yasharal, saying, On the 10th day of this month, each one of them is to take for himself a lamb according to the house of his father, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too small for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of beans. According to each man's need, you make your count for the lamb. Let the lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male. Take it from the sheep's or from the goats. And you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Then all the assembly of the congregation of Yasharal shall kill it between the evenings. And they shall take some of the blood and put it on the 2 doorposts and on the lintel of the houses where they eat it. And they shall eat the flesh on that night. Roasted in fire with unleavened bread and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Do not eat it raw, nor boiled at all with water, but roasted in fire, its head with its legs and its inward parts. And do not leave of it until morning, and what remains of it until morning you are to burn with fire. And this is how you eat it: your loins girth, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And you shall eat it in haste. It is the Pesah of Yahuwah. And I shall pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that night, and shall smite all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both man and beast. And on all the mighty ones of Mitzrayim I shall execute judgment. I am Yahuwah. And the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I shall pass over you, and let the plague not come on you to destroy you when I smite the land of Mitzrayim. And this day shall become to you a remembrance, and you shall observe it as a festival to Yahuwah throughout your generations. Observe it as a festival, an everlasting law. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Indeed, on the first day you cause leaven to cease from your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that being shall be cut off from Yasharal. And on the first day is a set-apart gathering, and on the 7th day you have a set-apart gathering. No work at all is done on them, only that which is eaten by every being. That alone is prepared by you. And you shall guard the festival of Matzah, for on this day I brought your divisions out of the land of Mitzrayim, and you shall guard this day throughout your generations, an everlasting law. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, in the evening you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month in the evening. For 7 days no leaven is to be found in your houses. For if anyone eats what is leavened, that same being shall be cut off from the congregation of Yasharal, whether sojourner or native of the land. Do not eat that which is leavened. In all of your dwellings you are to eat unleavened bread. And Moshe called for all the elders of Yasharal and said to them, Go out and take lambs for yourselves, according to your clans, and slaughter the Pesah lamb. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. And you, none of you shall go out of the door of his house until morning. And Yahuwah shall pass on to smite the Mitzrites, and shall see the blood on the lintel and on the 2 doorposts. And Yahuwah shall pass over the door, and not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to smite you. And you shall guard this word as a law for you and your sons forever. And it shall be, when you come to the land which Yahuwah gives you, as he promised, that you shall guard this service. And it shall be, when your children say to you, What does this service mean to you? Then you shall say, It is the Pesah slaughtering of Yahuwah, who passed over the houses of the children of Yasharal in Mitzrayim, when he smote the Mitzrites and delivered our households. And the people bowed their heads and did obeisance. And the children of Yasharal went away and did so. As Yahuwah had commanded Moshe and Aaron, so they did. And it came to be at midnight that Yahuwah smote all the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on the throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Mitzrites. And there was a great cry in Mitzrayim, for there was not a house where there was not a dead one. Then he called for Moshe and Aaron by night, and said, Arise, go out from the midst of my people, both you and the children of Yasharal. and go serve Yahuwah as you have said. Take both your flocks and your herds as you have said, and go. Then you shall bless me too. And the Mitzrites urged the people to hasten to send them away out of the land, for they said, We are all dying. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, having their kneading bowls bound up in their garments on their shoulders. And the children of Yasharal had done according to the word of Moshe, and they had asked from the Mitzrites objects of silver and objects of gold and garments. And Yahuwah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Mitzrites, so that they gave them what they asked, and they plundered the Mitzrites. And the children of Yasharal set out from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides the little ones. And a mixed multitude went up with them too, also flocks and herds, very much livestock. And they baked unleavened cakes of dough which they had brought out of Mitzrayim, for it was not leavened, since they were driven out of Mitzrayim and had not been able to delay, nor had they prepared food for themselves. And the sojourn of the children of Yasharal, who lived in Mitzrayim, was 430 years. And it came to be at the end of the 430 years, on that same day it came to be that all the divisions of Yahuwah went out from the land of Mitzrayim. It is a night to be observed unto Yahuwah for bringing them out of the land of Mitzrayim. This night is unto Yahuwah, to be observed by all the children of Yasharal throughout their generations. And Yahuwah said to Moshe and Aaron, This is the law of the Pesah. No son of a stranger is to eat of it. But any servant a man has bought for silver, when you have circumcised him, then let him eat of it. A sojourner and a hired servant does not eat of it. It is eaten in one house. You are not to take any of the flesh outside the house, nor are you to break any bone of it. All the congregation of Yasharal are to perform it. And when a stranger sojourns with you and shall perform the Pesah to Yahuwah, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and perform it. And he shall be as a native of the land, but let no uncircumcised eat of it. There is one Torah for the native born and for the stranger who sojourns among you. And all the children of Yasharal did as Yahuwah commanded Moshe and Aaron, so they did. And it came to be on that same day that Yahuwah brought the children of Yasharal out of the land of Mitzrayim according to their divisions.